In 1982, a ship lay underwater near the coast of Turkey. It had waited 3,300 years to be found. Divers spotted it deep down where sunlight struggled to reach. Encrusted with layers of sea life, this was the Uluburun Shipwreck. It quickly became a treasure trove for archaeologists. But it also posed mystery after mystery, waiting to be unraveled. An archaeologist named Selin had been fascinated by it for years. She spent hours at the site, imagining the past lives of sailors and traders. Selin wanted to uncover a secret that lay in the ship's cargo. This was not just any wreck. It was packed with goods from 9 different civilizations. Who were the crew behind such a global trade? That's what Selin wanted to find out. The ship carried ancient ingots made of copper. They were shaped like oxides and lay stacked like shiny pancakes in the sand. This copper came from Cyprus, well known for its rich mines during the Bronze Age, almost like a battery cell of the ancient economies. But copper wasn't alone. There were tin ingots too, smaller but just as neatly packed. Selin knew tin was the key to making bronze, the metal that defined an entire era and fueled empires. The copper and tin hinted at a grand network of life and trade over the seas. Was this ship part of a fleet, gathering these critical materials for rulers, or had it just been a lone journey? Selin needed more clues to know the truth. On the ship, they found glass beads, looking like clear raindrops, all packed in old wooden crates. The glass came from Mesopotamia, where sand met craft. Gold and silver jewelry were tangled among the cargo, corroded but grand. The design was Canaanite, from the docks of today's Israel and Palestine region, hinting at a more personal touch. These treasures told stories of wealth and artistry celebrated by people long gone. Which ports had they visited? Which hands crafted these? It made Selin wonder about those ancient artisans who never knew their work would travel so far. This ship wasn't just a cargo runner. It carried stories and skill as well, suggesting profound links between places. Selin couldn't help but think, were these routes common, or was this a unique voyage? What had connected these worlds so strongly? Among the mess of the swell's loot lay Sardinian bronze tools, their sturdy design severe. They marked a gasp of survival from Western Nuragi. Mycenaean pottery rested in the wreck, its art unmatched in the sea's dark grasp. The paint still clung to the clay, whispering secrets of Greek palaces to waters harsh and cruel. Fractured limestone weights sat alongside, symbols of an ancient scale long forsaken. Selin stared at each item, a hand's gap from these nations stretched wide. The questions tumbled like waves beneath her thoughts. Did this ship split its trade between nations, or merely profiteers who crossed the line? Could its traces of bronze tell of one final venture or a life well traveled? Selin hoped that more clues would emerge from the depths of the Uluburun secrets. Next, there were remains of elephant tusks. Elephants didn't roam the lands these traders knew. They came from far-off lands, Africa perhaps. Sizable, they lay like gentle giants, taking Selin across distant sands. As the waves whispered secrets, blue faience beads gleamed in corners, untouched by time's grasp. Ever so carefully kept, they hailed from Egypt's artisans. Tall ebony logs, glossy even in their age, sat like ancient towers, their origins a mystery. They had traveled oceans to arrive here. What strange and distant journeys had they witnessed? These goods told tales of lands woven together in ways long lost to us. How did such wealth knit disparate worlds with one? This tangled picture tugged at Selin's thoughts. Could trade tie peoples this far, or was this venture a tax on hope? Among the scattered goods lay tiny seals, tokens of trust long forgotten. They bore marks from kingdoms, the shapes of which matched cuneiform scripts. In some respects, they resembled trade documents. As Selin delicately lifted each one, etched into the clay were unreadable tales of traders, slipped up by history's drowning grasp. Stamped insignia spoke quietly of contacts and commitments too worn to extract. Yet, these relics showed more than scratches on mud. They were the fingerprints of transactions, payments for goods and services from corners unknown. They were cryptic yet precious, hinting at trade routes as grand as empires. Selin pondered if they were dealing in more than metals and commodities. Were these people diplomats of their own accord, with faces beyond bartering? Amphorae sat by the sea floor, pale and colorless. Delicate and shattered, they once stored perfume. Were they filled with resin from Lebanese cedars, prized like ancient bottled time? Scent still lingered, frankincense and myrrh, testament to a life now buried. By their fragments, remnants of fragrant woods lay, their rich aroma forgotten by waters deep. These were the scents of sacred rituals or well-off households, likely prized during trade. Selin hypothesized varying requests drove the trade. What brought such splendor? Was it a desire to respect customs or a gamble on luxury? Their presence seemed deliberate, not accidental, suggesting wider, more complex exchanges. She thought of bustling markets filled with wares and people whose lives were shaped by the sea, trading more than objects, trading stories. There was a silver chalice, though tarnished and plain, standing tall. It was once a treasure for someone. Near it, a dagger's hilt caught the light, ornate and crafted with great care by its maker. Perhaps pride had seeped through its metal veins. Then there were ceramic pieces, broken but stirring. Together, these items hinted at a ship filled with personal effects, owned by those making this journey. A few might signify riches, possessions worth huddling beside in crisis. And yet, what stories did they hold before the sea claimed them? Selin thought about each owner, each traveler, alive in a different time. What stories had they left untold, shadowed now in those silent depths? Back from the sea, Selin went to her study where scholars converged. They pondered the cargo of the Uluburun, poised over maps as old as myths. The table shone with texts, reflections of maps detailing paths traced by daring hands across ancient seas. Selin pondered these maps, tracing routes and valleys with her fingers, weighing the choices that wind and waves might once have offered to daring souls. What story did these goods tell? Both fleeting and sturdy, these items demanded explanation. Her colleagues leaned in, discussing theories. Had this ship been a unique risk, or a staple of lively trade? Skepticism scratched the room, a dance of facts and curiosity. To decipher more, Selin needed data buried deeper than barren sands. Funding, the lifeblood of discovery, came under consideration. The Uluburun ship had captured the attention of academics, eager and hesitant, gathered for their discourse. They deliberated how to place the ship in history's tapestry. Was it isolated, or part of a wider trade web unknown until now? The debate fueled conversations and divided opinions. Riveted, yet backed by shreds of fact and history's dust, each scholar spoke pronouncements about ancient commerce. The cargo hinted at extensive trade, subtlety, and broad gambits. Would future digs prove this an anomaly or common practice? The push for resources to lift every stone remained. If they could trace one tale to another, if they could render the past shadows, the funding would flow. That hope persisted, lending energy to their research's journey. Technological leaps reached for the Uluburun's depths. In laboratories, computers flickered, yielding digital replicas in every clink. Images of the ship sprouted and blossomed on screens, a metal and wire reflection of the world it once knew. Through the murmur of keyboards and the hum of data flowing like surf, the ship gained voice anew. It was more than a memory, it was tangible. Virtual mapping spawned oceans in bytes, while experts debated currents, tides, and depths as if life depended on these geographies. But also, they hacked at enigmas of trade through animation. Selin laid her thoughts upon this new canvas of the sea. Was there something in the patterns of trade? Did the ship weave its own story among many others, unseen but always felt? Selin traced woven patterns, drawing inferences from things found and insights yet to be revealed. She studied an ancient ship model, enthralled by intricate carvings depicting navigation. Threads of sea routes emerged across now doubted maps, revealing old ventures tied by phantom currents. At each stroke of the detailing line, she wondered, what stories twisted and tore as lives groaned past the ocean's edge? The thread-like connections did not yet hint at a straight answer. But she could not help but mull the unlikelihood of isolated voyages. Was history filled with countless untold tales of trade, woven so intricately that only faint recollections surfaced? Each turn of thought was a new route tasted briefly, resisting plain capture but always glinting there in corner's eye. Nearby, the spectrum of findings grew wide. Bronze amulets of faith and fortune spoke about lives lived among azures tethered by salt and sky. Selin spent nights ranking probability and transcribing accounts. Her reflections ranged from scattered coastal wrecks to tales woven in the moonlight. She lay ink on paper meticulously. How often had trade's odds embraced ancient souls who, now porous as bronzes, leaned on saints of the sea? These glimpses into the past were often clouded. What stood clear? Was it the ship's sail, vanishing across horizons told solemn by stars before the land awoke? Indeed, to learn the Uluburun's name was less important than knowing the completeness of its voyage. Selin hoped one day understanding would brush past history's fog. As the sun dipped into the horizon, Selin found peace next to the sea. The pulsing waves brought her back to the Uluburun, its resting place preserved in the depths. Questions lingered in her mind, like echoes of a time so very different, yet connected. Was the Uluburun and its astonishing cargo a unique marvel or just part of a larger narrative writ in history's scroll? Either way, discoveries lay ahead, biding their time under those waves. Watching the sunlight dance across the water, Selin embraced the lingering unknown. These remnants represented a conversation with our past, a past not silent but spoken through Earth's veins, and for that, she would persist in her search. Always, the sea seemed to reveal little during its embrace, but to Selin, it whispered secrets. Perhaps the ship from Uluburun would always keep its secrets. The sea cradled it still, leaving us half answers carried on twilight's whispers. Was there something yet to find that could weave these disparate tales into one? The future might tell, but for now, as shadows stretched across the sand, calm claimed its hold. Selin walked softly where waves now retreated, considering how the past folds into our present. Histories hidden beneath the sea's hush dreamed like currents in their restful embrace. Yet one truth remained unyielding even amid mysteries. This ship, its tales half carved into the depths, had tasted strange journeys and bore unimaginable stories, such grandeur, now adrift yet preserved, under eternal watch of the sea's vigilant and tranquil might.